Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about a hostage negotiation incident, the Arizona State Prison hostage situation. In January of 2004, a hostage situation occurred at the Arizona State Prison in Buckeye, Arizona. It started January 18th and ended February 1st, making it the longest prison siege in U.S. history. The officers involved were Jason Auch and Lois Fraley, who were taken hostage by inmates Stephen Coy and Ricky Wassenaar in the tower. During the hostage situation, Auch was badly injured, in and out of consciousness from Wassenaar attacking him. Auch's eye orbital was crushed. Wassenaar was able to enter the tower by dressing up in a guard's uniform. Auch and Fraley buzzed him into the tower. How did this happen? Inmates Wassenaar and Coy, armed with hidden shanks, were able to gain control of the kitchen where they were working in. They handcuffed Officer Kenneth Martin to a tool cage and tied up a female civilian worker. Wassenaar put on Officer Martin's uniform and proceeded to the tower where Auch and Fraley buzzed him in thinking he was an officer. Once inside, Wassenaar overpowered them, handcuffed them, and took control of the tower and arsenal. While Wassenaar was gaining control of the tower, Coy remained in the kitchen where he allegedly raped the female civilian. Wassenaar armed himself with a rifle from the tower's arsenal and began firing from the tower. He did this to help clear the way for Coy to make it to the tower. While in the tower, Coy allegedly raped Lois Fraley. 6 days into the siege, Auch was released in exchange for food and supplies. They mainly received pizza, chips, and burgers for food and gave Fraley very little to eat. This caused Fraley to lose 30 pounds over the ordeal. In the end, Wassenaar and Coy surrendered and released Fraley in exchange for transfers to out-of-state prisons. Many mistakes were made during this ordeal. The first main mistake involved security lapses. Wassenaar was mistaken for a guard and buzzed into the tower after disguising himself as a guard. The lack of verification protocols allowed him to overpower 2 officers and seize weapons. The second main mistakes involved inadequate staff training. Auch only had been on the job for less than 6 months. He failed to recognize the deception. Only 1 guard was assigned to watch 17 prisoners in the kitchen, allowing the inmates to gain control over the kitchen and get the guard's uniform. The guard watching the video monitors detected nothing unusual because he was busy doing paperwork. Several guards thought that the alarm was a drill, causing them to respond slowly. The department waited on local law enforcement to arrive because the department lacked confidence in the guards' training. The crisis was prolonged due to failed negotiation attempts. Wassenaar was able to make it through 2 searches out of the compound with a handcuff key taped to the bottom of his foot after the surrender. Coy and Wassenaar were pat searched, then taken to a nearby area and strip searched. Both searches failed to find the key. The key was discovered only after he arrived at a federal prison. Many actions were taken during the incident, including hostage negotiations, containment and surveillance, and crisis management. Negotiators worked continuously. They secured the release of Officer Auch on day 6 and the surrender on day 15. The prison was surrounded by SWAT teams and snipers. However, snipers were not used because of the risk to the hostages. Authorities maintained and secured a tight perimeter to prevent the inmates' escape. Officials exchanged food and supplies for cooperation and proof of life. The standoff ended peacefully when both inmates surrendered on February 1st, 2004. Many lessons were learned from this incident. Officer training needed to be increased in areas like crisis response, deception detection, and hostage negotiation. Early warning systems and intelligence sharing within the prison system is also emphasized. If the incident had been detected earlier, Coy and Wassenaar would have never made it to the tower. They would have been caught in the kitchen. The prison also needed better security measures. such as stricter ID verification and access control for sensitive areas like towers. With these security measures in place, Wassenaar would have never been buzzed into the tower. The prison also needed enhanced surveillance and monitoring of inmate movements and uniforms. Prison architecture needed to be reevaluated to prevent inmates from gaining strategic control points. An example of this would be adding an extra doorway entry point for secure locations such as the tower. Implementing these new security measures and training can help prevent future incidents such as this one.